Hey guys, what is up? Fluffy Ninja from Warp Crew Paintball and Warp Sports Chicagoland here with a, I guess, tool tip or a tech tip. I know it probably sounds super gay, but so I've been playing paintball for about 16 years, give or take. Um, and one thing that I learned like super early on is that paintball guns come apart, and if you don't put them back together correctly, they don't work anymore. So oh fuck, I don't even know. Probably, I think my first gun was a BT Delta. No, I don't know. It was like a, I don't know. No, it was an A5 because it looked like an MP5, and then the Delta, I was like, ooh, this also looks like an MP5. Anyway, that was like the first gun that I took apart and like started fucking with, and then I was like, I don't know how to put it back together, so I went to Warp Sports where a young man named Will Chandler, super good friend of mine. I haven't talked to him in a while, unfortunately, but he's been busy with life and stuff. But I met him at Warp Sports. I filmed his team when he was on the Chicago Warped paintball team. I think they were a D1. Yeah, they were D1. I got to film them a lot. Thanks to him and his introduction to a lot of people in the like paintball environment. Like that's how I know so many people that I do today. But he walked me through putting the gun back together. He told me, he's like, if you have any questions, text me, whatever. We'll make sure we get it figured out. Super awesome dude. I think he helped me get one of the first Vanquishes that ever came out because he, again, was with Chicago Warped, and they practiced against LA Infamous, and Infamous practiced out at CPX, and when I was out there filming, that's when I got to shoot one of the first Vanquishes. And I was like, man, this is awesome. Then I got one. Then I found out they were a piece of shit just because of the detents and stuff like that. That's really the only problem with them. But anyway, since meeting him, I've been able to tech my own markers. It was one of those things that he was like, well, you have to learn to do it or else, you're going to be running to somebody and paying them money to do it for you. And I was like, that's a really good point. So from that point on, every time that I was thinking about buying a marker, I would always find the manual online first, watch videos on it. Like Mike from TechPB did a lot of breakdown videos and stuff like that. So I watched a lot of those. I became really familiar with just any marker that I got my hands on. And then through the years, because I was fortunate enough to have really good paying jobs, I was able to buy marker after marker after marker after marker. Like just going ape shit, really. So I've owned pretty much every marker from, I want to say, an Ego 10 or maybe an Ego 9 on. Like, I've owned all of those. I had one of the, I think I had a Geo 1 or whatever the hell it was called first. I never bought any of the high-end stuff like GSLs or anything like that. But I had, like, the first of every rendition of markers that you see today. Like the CS2, I had, the original Geo. That line has kind of progressed. When the G-Tech came out, E-Techs, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I went through all of them, and 5, of course, but those are still being made, I think. But with all of those came a manual, read the manual, came one of those fucking discs, and when computers use optical drives, I watched the disc or read the disc or whatever. I made sure that I knew everything about whatever paintball marker that I was going to be shooting for the season, for that particular set of time, whatever. When Dye gave me the opportunity to do the video for the DSR, for their maintenance video, I made sure to read through the manual. I made sure to get all the technical shit down just so the video looked okay for them. And, again, through that, I learned how to tech a DSR. Like, that's just how it kind of works, is take it apart, or air it up, make sure it works, take it apart, put it back together, see if it still fucking works. And that's kind of what I've been able to do. Now, this has kind of been a double-edged sword. Being the person that's owned pretty much every paintball marker on the market, and most people know that if you go back and watch videos of the weekend loadout and stuff like that and how that all started, you'll see the progression of markers that I had. And a lot of people see that as, oh, well, if you're at an event, then you can tech my marker. If you're at a field, you can tech my marker. It started out with some friends being like, hey, my gun's not working. What do you think it is? And, degas it, take the paint off of it, clean it out, make sure it's all good, put it back together. If it shoots, awesome. If not, then I got to take it apart, rip it apart completely, make sure that, you know, everything is where it's supposed to be, and then put it back together. And after a while, like, more and more people started coming up to me and asking me, and then I even had field owners asking me when I would go to play at the field. I paid to play, and then I'd have the field owner be like, oh yeah, you know what you're doing. Would you mind taking a look at his gun? Because our tech doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I've had probably about 4 or 5 of those happen, where I go to a field to play, and then I get, you know, pulled to the side by the owner or by one of the refs. It's like, hey, you fixed that kid's gun the other week. The owner wants to talk to you about fixing one of the guns that a customer brought in. By the way, I never got paid for any of this. I never was like, well, I fixed your gun, pay me. I just don't do that. If I wanted to, I probably could. I'm not one of those people that's like, what is his name? I don't remember his name, but Paintball Tech. He is a just amazing dude. Like, I haven't gotten the chance to meet him, but from the videos that I've seen of him, and like secondhand accounts of people meeting him, he is like the paintball tech in the industry. I don't know what certifications he has, but he autocockers, Angel, like stuff like that, like old school stuff that I never got to experience really. Like I never really messed with Angels or autocockers. I can build autocockers, but if somebody comes up to me and is like, well, my autococker is doing this, I have no fucking idea. Like when I built my my Eclipse cocker, the electronic one, I had no idea what I was doing. I just have the incredible dumb luck that when I put it together, it works. And I don't know how I've been able to do that. I've had PB Sports take a look at a few of them at events that I went to, and I was like, hey, it's not working. And I kind of like watch over Vince's shoulder, or, you know, like whoever's looking at it to see what they're doing. So that way, if I come across a problem again, I know what I'm doing. But this video is already 7 minutes, and I haven't even gotten to the point that I wanted to talk about. So when I go to a field, usually a big game, I will bring a toolbox with me. Most of the time it stays at home if somebody has a problem. Like our teammate did, Corey gave me his vise that he was like, hey, it like just stopped working. The bolt was stuck forward, just venting air. Turns out it was paint from the field that broke and congealed fast enough while he was shooting it that it stuck the bolt forward. I don't know how the fuck that's even possible, but it was kind of insane. When I pulled out like the chunk of paint, I was like, holy shit, this stopped this gun from working. After I removed that, it shot absolutely fine. But, so for a toolbox, I picked up a just cheap little dollar store toolbox, not a big deal. If you're just starting out and you want to have stuff that's, you know, like you can take care of your own markers, make sure you bring your own toolkit that was provided to you by the manufacturer. Like Planet Eclipse has an amazing toolkit and spare kit. Like, make sure you bring that with you. I wouldn't recommend bringing the hard case just because if you're going to sell the marker later, the hard case in good condition is a very big plus, and people love that. So I use like the Planet Eclipse soft cases. I love those. But bring microfibers with you, absolutely, not only for goggles, but your gun gets shot, wipe off your gun, just so the paint doesn't seep into it and completely, A, fuck up the board, which is worst case scenario, or B, gum up your eyes, your trigger, etc., so that way it just, you know, stops working. But in this little tiny dollar store toolbox, I think I have a pretty good kit of things that can help people at fields if they can't do it themselves. The first thing is the Exalt Vitamin O oil. I need to put this in a plastic bag because however they made this bottle, it just doesn't seal properly and it just pours everywhere. Toothbrush, just in case you have to get to the eyes real quick. Like if you can't take your eye covers off, just get in there with a toothbrush and, you know, kind of swipe it out. Dental pick, super important if you have to remove O-rings, if you have to, again, clean out eyes, clean out something to get into something that, you know, can help you even more. Like if the grip screws are just caked in dirt, which happens all the time for some reason. People just take mud and fucking mash it into the screws and trying to get the, like, you can't get an Allen key in it, so you gotta dig it out and then Allen key and then you're okay. Standard size Phillips screwdriver, of course. Standard size flathead screwdriver, because who fucking knows. This is, it used to be extreme range goggle or lens cleaner, anti-fog cleaner. Really what it is now, it's water with a little bit of Windex in it, and this is for A, wiping hits off of goggles, B, wiping hits off of guns, or C, just spraying your marker down, wiping it down real quick, just in case there's anything on it. It's like, oh, I don't want that on there. Like, this is super, I use this so much more than I thought I would. I think Mike Phillips was like, oh, you get a spray bottle with just a tiny bit of Windex and water, and then you're fine. This is for, like, I use Q-tips, spray with a Q-tip, get in there, clean something that might be, like, super dirty. With this, with, like, a barrel swab to, like, run through the breech real quick, spray it down with that, run it through the breech, and then it's all clean. Let's see. Grease. This is the Smart Parts. I don't remember what this, I think it's Dow 55, I think. So a little bit greasy on there. I think so, but it's whatever comes with Luxes and stuff like that. This stuff, this is what comes with axes. I think it's the same thing, only it's not colored. This is clear, whereas the Lux stuff is white. You know, it's not that bad. I have, shit, I don't even know what this is. This is a Lux O-ring kit. Lux O-rings are also good for most Empire guns, just because the tolerances are a little bit better. Granted, these are from Captain O-ring, so they're probably not great, especially if they're colored. Usually, you just want to go with black O-rings, if you can. What's this shit called? Teflon tape. Teflon tape is super good for if you have a leak in, like, a macro connection. It's super good. Take the connection off, put a little bit of this on there, put the connection back in. Allen keys. I have the Exalt full kit, like just a absolute shit ton of Allen keys. I have a multi-Allen key just in case, because these are, I don't think they're metric, but they're not, I don't know, they're not standard either. So they might be metric, but I'm not 100% sure. Needle nose pliers, just because you never know. An ASA. I think this is off of Hammer 7. If there's something wrong with the tank and the tank still has air in it, purge the tank, take the regulator off, clean O-rings, whatever you have to do, and that's super, super helpful. Tiny screwdriver. This is really good for like the vise that I had to take care of. The eyes for Bob Long are usually held in by a smaller Phillips head, so that's really good to have. A pen, just in case you have to write anything down. Okay, so that's Dow 35. This is Dow 55. This is for more Bob Long guns, because his tolerances are so tight that if you use Dow 35 on it, it could swell the O-rings, causing issues just from, like, more friction on things that need to not have friction on them. So that's super, super important. Tiny little adjustable wrench. This is super good for those macro fittings or anything like that. Pocket knife, just in case anybody want to get stabbed. Metric, Allen keys, full set. I think I bought this and, like, a standard set on Amazon for, like, maybe $10. Let's see, a couple more O-rings. I believe these are dye O-rings, because I have had a lot of dye guns brought to me just because they're fucking dye guns. Another pen. I have, like, one more big thing in here that I don't want to take it out yet. Some macro line. This isn't, I need more macro line, but this is, like, just in case. I don't know. If there's a macro line problem, and I can say that it's a macro line problem right away. And then I have this. This is an old Empire Axe toolkit. This was the toolkit that I brought with me everywhere. And then I was like, you know what? I need a bigger box. This has springs, detents for an axe, like a couple of their random screws, bunch of O-rings for a dam. I think it's got some, yeah, it's got detents for a dam, and, like, just a random assortment of Allen keys that somehow none of my sets have, but these Allen keys are exactly what I need at random moments. So that's why I just keep them in here. And that's pretty much it. Like, that is what my toolkit consists of, because I'm ready for pretty much any marker that gets brought to me. I did have a rule for the longest time. I still have this rule with my team that I do not tech markers on weekends. If I'm there to play paintball, I'm not going to take 10 minutes to maybe an hour to look at and fix your gun. After the day is over, if you want to come to the RV or come to the campsite or let me take it back to the hotel room or wherever the fuck I'm staying, then I'll take a look at it, but I'm not going to do it when I'm there to play paintball. Like, maybe before the game, if it's like, hey, it's doing this, and I can just, like, knock it out real quick, sure. Like, I think I had, was it Billy? Yeah, Billy brought me his 3.5, and he was like, dude, it's fucking leaking. And, like, all I'm hearing is an air hiss, and I, like, lean closer, and it's coming from the ASA. Pop the ASA, take it off, lube the O-ring, that's right there, put it back on, gun's good to go. And that's just, you know, it comes from the years of experience, and it comes from the years of using the markers. And the other thing, too, is a lot of it is, could be paint-related issues, or what a lot of people like to do, and I don't fucking know why, is upgrade parts. That drives me insane. When I get something that's like, oh, well, it's got the upgraded bolt, and I was like, why? Like, why do you have the upgraded boss bolt in your axe? Well, more efficient. It's a fucking axe, dude. You're not shooting 30 fucking pods. I can shoot 10 off of mine consistently when I had one. But the axe, like, it's one of my favorite markers, and I hate when people are like, well, I upgraded the bolt. No, why? Leave it alone. You notice how it shot fucking fine stock parts? If you had left it stock parts, it'd still be shooting fine. Your gun comes from factory perfect in stock form. That's what it's for. That's how they ship it. That's how they test it. That's how they make sure that it works. Use your marker in stock form. Learn how to take it apart, clean it, put it back together, make sure that it works. And then you can worry about shit like that. Like the drop-in bolts from Tech and stuff like that, where, like, on an Ego or, like, anything like that, those are fine just because they really don't do that much. They adjust the FPS a little bit just because of the O-rings and, like, the weight of the thing, that's fine. But, like, a lot of stuff like valves, leave it alone. Just fucking leave it alone. Because you're not going to do something right, and then it's going to be fucked up, and you're going to have to come find me or somebody else to fix it for you. And it's super irritating. By the way, I am not a certified tech at all. That's one of my biggest dreams from probably about 10 years ago when I was told about Paintball Extravaganza. I was like, oh man, I could get certified to do all this teching, and it would be amazing. I'm not certified. I just know what the fuck I'm doing from owning the marker that you brought to me. There was a guy at Blast Camp, his LV1 started not working. I took it, reset the settings back to factory, started shooting fine. And he was like, what'd you do? And I was like, I reset your settings because you're a dumbass and you adjusted something that made it not work right. And that's just, leave it stock and it'll work, I swear. Upgrade your barrel, put paint and air in it, shoot fucking paintballs. That's all you have to do. So, yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.